It's Morning Becomes Eclectic on KCRW. I'm Chris Douridas. We are live in studio with local natives. Taylor Rice of the band is with us. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Good, good. Nice to see you.
Pleasure to see you.
Yeah, and you guys played the Hollywood Bowl recently. That was cool.
That was very cool. I enjoyed it a lot.
Had you guys played there before?
One time opening for the National.
Opening for the National. Who you guys worked with? You worked with...
Worked with Aaron Dessner of the National. He made our second record, Hummingbird, with us.
He did indeed, yeah. I mean, I think you guys have dates celebrating the release of kind of a two-part album project. An album came out last year, Time Will Wait for No One. And then there was a second drop of an album this year, But I Will Wait for You. Kind of a real collection of creativity post-pandemic, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think after that time period, it was kind of the first time we'd ever been isolated from each other since basically we were kids in high school. And when we got together, it sort of was just like flowing and tons of songs were happening. And so, you know, there's a point, I think, in every career where you ask yourself, is it time for the double album? And...
I know I have that thought, too.
You've had that thought, yeah,
I
exactly.
Think about that.
And this just seemed to be right. Like, after we had made all these songs and what would have been a first album, there were just so many more songs that felt like that we still needed to finish and do from this era. And so it was definitely a process, but that's how we decided to kind of do this 2-record project that encapsulated this whole period of time.
So you're taking these things on the road. It's a bit bittersweet because as local Natives fans know, the dynamic of the band is about to change. There was an announcement several months ago. It's not news now. Kelsey's stepping away from the band, Kelsey Air. And you guys grew up together, essentially. I mean, all of you, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things, when I think of local Natives, I think of those harmonies. Mm-hmm. I think of, you know, the way you guys all harmonize together and sing together. How's that going to change?
Yeah, it will definitely be a shift for us, you know? Like, we've been doing this since we were kids, as you said. But even, like, the title of this project, Time Will Wait for No One, But I'll Wait for You, that became this mantra throughout this whole time period. And it was like a theme that applied to all of us in a bunch of different ways, in our personal lives, in the band. And kind of to that end, part of that is... Sometimes it's when knowing it's like, okay, it's time for some space and to let, you know, exploration happen. And that can be a very natural part of any relationship. And for us, it's like, you know, we truly are family and it's all love. And we're playing a lot together throughout this whole time period. And I'm really excited both for Kelsey and for his future and what he kind of goes off to explore. And I think similarly for us and for local Natives, I think it's also going to open up some new, you know, spaces and dynamic for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is local Natives continues.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So yeah, this is kind of cool to sort of see the original collective, and it's, you know.
And what better place than KCRW where... I mean, I was curious if you remember the first time you saw us play, Chris, because I have seen you and you've been supportive of local Natives from, you know, truly like day one. I don't know if you have a memory of it.
Wow, going so far back, man.
Would it have been Spaceland or would it have been? I know I saw you at Spaceland.
Yeah,
out there.
One of those places. Yeah, for sure.
But the first time we did Morning Becomes Eclectic was actually before our first record, Gorilla Manor, came out. And we had like an EP that we had made in the van. And I remember being at KCRW and seeing the EP, and it just blew our minds. So you guys have been here day one.
You guys grew up with KCRW too, I would imagine.
Of course, yeah.
Being that you are local and you are Natives. Which is kind of unusual for people in the entertainment world to all be from LA, especially like in music. Most people kind of move here to get their careers going, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we are from Orange County, really.
Wow. I think of that as local. I do.
I mean, it is. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to stay in Orange County? You're going to come to Los Angeles.
Come on.
And so, of course, KCRW is like, it's always been the coolest, most amazing radio station in the world as far as we're concerned. So this was our destination.
You read that off the paper just correctly.
Was that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Good.
We're so happy to see you. So glad you guys came through, and you're bringing it, in the studio for a live performance in front of our wonderful in-house crowd here, live from the Annenberg Performance Studio at the HQ of KCRW. It's Morning Becomes Eclectic with local natives live. Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks, Chris.